Let's move on to the running back position. We ready?
Let's do it.
Let's move on to start that man. This is Tyler's
Speaking of the Niners.
Speaking of the Niners, this is Tyler's man, Elijah Mitchell. There's some people that were kind of moving around on this San Francisco running back, or this backfield, this past couple weeks, because Elijah Mitchell wasn't the last man standing anymore. Do you think Elijah Mitchell's still good to go? He looks good. He looks it's cool that he's drafted in the 6th round and he's starting every game.
Yeah, something like that, like 5th, 6th round.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously he got a monitor. He had surgery on his finger or his hand or something like that. So all the reports are saying that he is good to go and he should be able to play. But like I said, it's just something to monitor on. But I mean, he seems to be like the guy there. Despite Trey Sermon. Even Jeff Wilson Jr. coming back. I mean, Elijah Mitchell has seen 18 or more touches in 5 of the 7 games that he's played in. We're always talking about volume. Volume is king, especially for running backs. I mean, and they're not shying away from giving him the football, which you love to see for the running back position. He's had 90 or more rushing yards in 3 of his last 4 games. So, I mean, he's been pretty efficient with those touches as well. 300-plus rushing yard games on the season so far. And the Jaguars, not very good against defending the run. They've allowed the 5th most rushing touchdowns to running backs. So I'm going to call it right now. Elijah Mitchell finds the end zone. And then you're telling me my guy's getting me like 90 rushing yards every game basically? Yeah, sign me up. So I love Elijah Mitchell this week against the Jaguars.
I like it. Elijah Mitchell, throw him in.
Do you think he's the
you know what?
waiver wire pickup of the year right now, or who would you? It's
Cordero.
Cordero.
But
okay.
You can't. I mean, Cordero's. I mean, he's up there, but like Cordero was. I mean, if you picked him up in like week 1 or week 2, whenever that was,
yeah,
I mean, I'm in a league and Cordero's been carrying me, like just really helping me in one league.
No, I feel that's a good one. That's a good one for sure.
But Elijah Mitchell, I'd probably say he's like, as far as running backs, he's probably right there next to him though.
Yeah,
number 2. But yeah, but I've been thinking about Elijah Mitchell for the future, like dynasty actually.
Yeah,
because I mean, if this continues and they really like him there, this could be kind of like the breakout running back for this team, which usually does this running back by committee. But it seems like they're starting to get to a point where they want to let him be just the workhorse. And this is a run-first team, too. This is
for sure, yeah.
But, yeah, let's go on to the next running back. We got our boy Mark Ingram for the New Orleans Saints. I mean, Mark Ingram's solid. I think he's back on the juice, and that's what I like to see.
The juice is loose.
He's on all the juice.
Yeah. Well, last week Mark Ingram steps in for Alvin Kamara. He missed due to the MCL sprain. He saw 18 touches, got you 108 total scrimmage yards and a rushing touchdown. Played 85% of the snaps. So it was like the Mark Ingram show.
Yeah, for you to step in, I mean, I know he was on the team before, but like you to step in and get 85%, that's pretty nuts.
Well, it's just nice for him that even though they just traded for him a couple weeks ago, that he knows the system, Sean Payton's offense. He can literally step in, like you said, and just play all the snaps because he knows all the plays, he knows the verbiage, the formations, all that stuff. Yeah, I'm sure it hasn't changed much since his days in the past with the Saints. So, but yeah, I do like Mark Ingram again in this matchup. Kamara missed practice. I think he practiced Wednesday, but then he sat out Thursday. So we got to monitor it. We're recording this on Friday to see what his status is. But if Kamara doesn't practice again today, I would say that you're going to be looking for another 80+% of the snaps for Mark Ingram. And with those MCL injuries, that's kind of what Aaron Jones is dealing with right now. They're saying 1 to 2 weeks. So I would caution on the side of 2 weeks just to be safe than sorry, especially with these Saints, trying to make a playoff run here. You want to make sure that, Alvin Kamara is healthy and ready for that. And when you have a capable backup like Mark Ingram who can just get the job done, there's no reason to rush Alvin Kamara back, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Mark Ingram, if Alvin Kamara's out, solid. Yeah. Not much else to say.
Even if Kamara plays, I still like Ingram as a low-end running back too, just because I feel like Kamara is banged up. He's not 100%. So if Kamara does play, I think it would be more like 50-50. Because you don't want to just throw Kamara out there and just, give him a full workload and then him get banged up again, like I said, and now he's out for multiple weeks.
I think Kamara's only missed like 5 games, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like it though. That's sneaky. Okay, this is my boy Myles Gaskin. I was talking about earlier how I was going to talk about a Dolphins player, but I love, Myles Gaskin has been frustrating because it's 1 week he does well, next week he does terrible. I think he got 5.5 fantasy points against the Baltimore Ravens last week. That's not what you like to see. But here's the thing: is the Jets have in the last 4 games have been putting up an average or allowing an average of, I think it's 40 something fantasy points to the running back position. And on the year, fantasy points per game they've given up to the running back position is 31. So it's literally the worst rush defense, it seems like, at least for fantasy in the league. So I would assume Myles Gaskin, if the Dolphins know what they're doing, which who knows, but if they have the right game plan, then they will run the ball and Myles Gaskin will be their guy. So yeah, I just love the matchup mostly. I'm not as longevity wise. I don't know how I feel about Myles Gaskin, but this week I'm feeling good.
Yeah, definitely.
Start that man.
Yeah, start that man. I mean, since Malcolm Brown went down and went to IR, it's been the Myles Gaskin show over there for Miami. I mean, 15 or more touches in 4 straight games. I mean, he hasn't been the most efficient with those. But like we were just saying with Elijah Mitchell, volume is king. And as Mike just said, the matchup is money here. So if he's going to see 15 or more touches against a defense that gives it up as Blair, as we say, yeah, I like that.
It's like Myles Gaskin falls under the category of one of those players. He's not a for sure start every week, but he's a guy, if you have a good matchup, you definitely make it happen because he can show up and have a pretty big, high, tall ceiling. Hello there. Hey, listen, right now, I know we talk about them a lot, but Underdog Fantasy, it has a really good deal right now. It's a player pick'em app. It's a DFS app. It's very similar to DraftKings or FanDuel, but this is better. It's brand new, very easy to use interface. But if you download the app right now and use promo code AVG, they used to hook up with $10 with your first deposit. Right now, they're matching you up to $100. So if you put $100 in the app right now on your first deposit, you will get an extra $100 to play around with. They got player pick'ems. You can even do a private match inside Underdog Fantasy. It's pretty dope. So you can challenge people and whatnot. You don't have to maintain a team for all year. So you can just draft your team, play that week, draft the next team next week. You could do it daily in a Thursday night game as well. So go check it out. Tons of prizes. Free $100. Come on, sign up. It's the best. And use promo code AVG. Now back to your video. Let's go into the next running back, though. Let's go into Kenyan Drake. Are you starting Kenyan Drake?
Yeah, I'm going to take my shot at Kenyan Drake.
Start that man
this week and start that man. When you think of Kenyan Drake, they paid him a good amount of money to come there. He's making more than I think it was, who was it? He's making more as the backup running back for the Raiders than Chris Carson is as the starting running back for the Seahawks. Obviously, Chris Carson's been banged up with the neck injury all season, but I mean that's just basically how much the Raiders viewed or how much they valued Kenyan Drake. To go get him and pay him. So they're paying him a good amount of money. So you would like to think they're going to utilize him and his skill set in this offense. Obviously, probably the better pass catcher out of the two between him and Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is a good pass catcher in his own, but if I was going to pick one or the other, it'd be Kenyan Drake. I would want catching the ball out of the backfield. And this is a good matchup for him. The Bengals have allowed the second most receptions to the running back position. I think this is going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a back-and-forth game here. Like you said, I like Burrow. They're coming off a bye. The Bengals are. So I'm expecting Chase, Burrow, Mixon, Higgins, all those guys to come out and put up some points, which in return is going to make sure or going to need the Las Vegas Raiders to keep up and keep pace with the Bengals here. So, yeah, I like him to, probably get you, 8 carries on the ground and then maybe 5 catches through the air. So I think he'll have a safe floor here as a low-end RB2 if you need to, fill that void on your roster.
Yeah, it's a little scary, but I'm not mad at it. You're diving deep in here.
Yeah.
Making some good plays. Let's go into the next running back.
Let's run it.
We got our boy Adrian Peterson, even though he's the most man of men in the league, probably, as far as the oldest running back out there. We're going to say, sit that boy. We're going to call him a boy today. And we're going to sit Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, so this one, it's tough because, he's only been playing about 33% of the snaps. 10 carries for 21 yards. Falls into the end zone the first week against the Rams. A tough matchup. Last week against the Saints, 33% of the snaps.
It's a tough matchup as well.
8 carries, 21 yards. Tough matchup, like Mike said. No touchdowns. So some bad games here. This is a good matchup against the Houston Texans. So I am a little worried about, like, hey, sitting him, because could this be the game that he comes out and he hasn't, hey, this is AP. Oh, yeah, that's AP. That's why he's a future first ballot Hall of Famer. Potentially, it could be there. But, I mean, Deontay Foreman looks good. So I'm not expecting him to go away anytime soon. So it's just, I don't know.
It's too many question marks.
Running back by committee. The matchup is nice, but I don't know. If I had to pick one, I want to go with the younger guy. I want to go with Foreman and his ability to break off a big run. Does AP come in and get you 12 carries, 40 yards, and a touchdown? Yeah, I think there's a high possibility of that, but I just don't see a high ceiling with Adrian Peterson here in this offense. So,
yeah, I'm with you on here. It is a juicy matchup, and I think this will be even like the most telling as to when they have the ability to run against a team. If the Adrian Peterson's not the one being used, then we can for sure say for the future, like, okay, yeah, on a great matchup, Adrian Peterson wasn't the guy. So from now on, we're not going to start him as the guy in these tougher matchups.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you on that. There's a lot of variables with Adrian Peterson. It is, on paper, it does look good though against the Texans. I will say that. Being at home too.
Yeah.
Who knows? Game script, yeah, that's a tough one. But I'm too many question marks for me as well. Let's go on to the next one here for Sit That Boy. We got our guy Zack Moss. I mean, this Bills offense. It's I don't know. Zack Moss and Devin Singletary. The whole thing has been weird. Just because they seem to pass the ball to everyone besides Stephon Diggs.
I mean, Stephon Diggs had a crazy good game last week.
No, I know, but before, remember he's had one touchdown this year.
I don't know, but Diggs is breaking back out. I think they realize, hey, this offense needs to run through Diggs.
Yeah,
they got some weapons, Manny Sanders, and Beasley's a solid slot receiver, and Dawson Knox, kind of had a mini breakout in the beginning of the season, but Diggs is still the guy. But I mean, for what it is worth, they just don't run the ball. I mean,
that's what I mean.
4 straight games where he's been under 10 rushing attempts. And it's just gross. I mean, he's kind of saved. I don't even want to say saved it, but it's like, 4 straight games, under 10 rushing attempts, 4 straight games, under 10 fantasy points. I mean, I just don't like it. And then you got Singletary there. You still got Josh Allen who could snake a goal line touchdown. So it's like, even if he falls into the end zone, I mean, last week he got you 7 for 27 and a touchdown. It still only got you 8.7 fantasy points, so it wasn't like, he got a touchdown to save the day. No, he still had a bad game.
When you have your players score a touchdown and you're still under double digits,
it's not good.
Yeah, that's rough. So I'm with you on that one. Sit Zack Moss.
Yeah.
Hey, did you like that video? No, not the one of Big Ben completely eating shit when nobody even touched him. I'm talking about our fantasy football video we just did. You just watched. Well, guess what? That was just a clip from the full audio podcast. So if you want to check out the whole thing, links down below. AVG Fantasy Football Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify, all of them. Anywhere you can get audio podcasts, we're there. Go ahead and check it out. And if you don't want to look at your fantasy team to look the way Big Ben does right here, wait for it. Come on, replay. This is your fantasy team. But
that won't be your fantasy team if you subscribe to AVG Fantasy Football. So go ahead, subscribe and like this video. Subscribe to the channel and like.